Good afternoon. Welcome to the Tom Taylor Sports Show. It is a Friday. The weekend 'tis upon us again. Whoo! The final weekend of the month of May. Can you believe that? We've got June 1st rolling in here on Monday. That's hard to believe it's going around that fast, but it is. And here we are. We thank you for being with us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Each and every day we do this from 1 to 3 on livestream.com. And then later on to the Cyber Nebulous. We put it up on iTunes, TuneIn Radio.
Cyber Nebulous.
Oh, yeah, it's out there.
Oh, you're getting up there with some big words.
You got that right. Cyber Nebulous. There you go. iTunes, TuneIn, Facebook, Stitch Your Phone app, and YouTube. So, anyway. Cyber Nebulous. Okay, this is not working again. Oh, there it is. If I get it. Oh, amazing. I got to push it further back in my ear canal. There you go. Clear as a bell. So
did you dig out all the wax last night?
I did. I got me a big old. I went and got me a tuning fork at the music store, so I can get all of it. Get it all out.
Okay.
Get it all out there. Yeah, it looked like it snowed wax on my.
Now you got to read the directions so you know how to insert it.
Anyway, we dedicate this show to the man who hung on the cross again up over my shoulder. We do this every day, and we do it unashamedly. The verse of the day today is Isaiah 43:1. Fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name, and you are mine. So there you go. That's what's going on with Isaiah 43:1. Again, fear not, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by your name, and you are mine. In fact, earlier in the month, we talked about how he has your name on the palm of his hand. And you don't get any better than that, the man who hung on the cross for all of us. So that is the verse of the day. We're joined by Horace today. We're ready to go. Got lots to talk about. Where do we start? We've got local news and sports coming up. Not news, but sports coming up later in the show from Jeff Birchfield doing a NASCAR preview about the racing this weekend of the Monster Mile in Dover. We've got Bill Patrick going to join us from the Kingsport Speedway right around 2 o'clock this afternoon. And David Carmichael joins us coming up at the bottom of the hour with the quiz show and what's going on with the Parks and Rec. And, again, the topic today will be the Oakland Raiders. My boys, the Raiders. So that's what's happening, plus a lot of sports. So where do we start? Let's start with you were chuckling earlier in the show getting ready because we were talking about Adrian Peterson. What is the very latest on Mr. Peterson?
Mr. Peterson's still starting his little rant. He's still trying to put pressure on the old Minnesota Vikings. He went on a Twitter rampage, I think. And a lot of people are saying that. Yeah. You know, of course, yesterday he said it's not about the contract. But it is. It's all about the contract.
Sure. And he's not getting his way, so now he's ranting and raving.
He's not getting his way, so he's ranting and raving, and he's basically come out.
Did you say wanting and raving?
I said wanting and raving.
That's what I thought you said. Hang on. New word.
Yeah, wanting.
Horace come up with it. We are now wanting and waving.
It's Friday. Give me a break.
Okay. By the way, you do not have your vacation-style T-shirt or your shirt on today.
It's the same style, just different color. But
it doesn't look as nice.
But I got spots on it.
Yeah, you swapped something all over it. So
I don't know how I got it on there.
But anyway, yesterday you had that really sharp-looking deep blue with a little leaf print on it. Today it's turquoise-looking thing.
You know what?
So.
I've got one for every day of the week now.
Well, wear one.
I'm going to wear a different one every day of the week just for you.
Thank you.
All right?
I like them. I really do. I told you I put in my dibs for the one yesterday. I want to wear your shirt when we play putt-putt in August. I want to borrow the shirt.
All right. Well, anyways, Adrian Peterson. Back to Mr. Peterson. Try to get me off track.
I think I've embarrassed the boy. Yeah, go ahead.
Didn't embarrass me. Basically, he's ranting about how it's all one-sided when it's convenient for management and the teams and the ownership to modify a contract or kick you to the curb, they do it.
Right.
But whenever it's on the it's on the other side where he wants a change because
it's all about him.
It's all about it is all about him. But
sure.
I mean, because he's got issues. Oh no, we're gonna hold you to it. Period.
He don't like that.
He doesn't like that.
No.
So he doesn't want to play for him. Period. He's holding out. He's losing money.
He's been virtually pretty quiet about this whole thing until Wednesday when the coach said, look, either you're going to play for us or you're not going to play at all. Now, all of a sudden, he's taking his toys, left the sandbox, and he's all about it. So he has thrown I guess my mom would say, a hissy fit.
Let me say this. If the Minnesota Vikings hold to their side and say, you're going to play for us, period, he will be a worthless player this year.
Yeah, he won't give you 100%.
He'll come out. He'll show up. He'll go out there. They can hand him the ball all they want, but he's not going to put 100% into it. He's not going to get himself hurt. He's just going to go through the motions and then sit the bench and take a check.
Yeah, or he'll get hurt.
He won't get hurt. He'll stop running the ball. He'll just
he can get, or he can come out and go,
yeah, he can fake an
oh,
injury.
that hamstring, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think the Vikings will get everything out of him. They need to go ahead and ship him out because he's not going to give them what they need. So,
and I don't think they see that. I think they honestly believe that they're going to hold him to the fire, and he's going to come out and give them 100%, and he's not going to do it.
No, he's not going to do it. Or he'd have already been in the camp saying,
if
a guy's going to lose $250,000 over 3 days because all he has to do is show up and participate in the team organizations, which was Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and he opted not to do that. If he can walk away from $250,000, if he's that stupid, he ain't gonna come in and give you 100%.
It's still all about the money.
Sure.
Okay. When Adrian finally decides, okay, I've got to give up a good chunk of change to get out of this contract and get out of this position, that's when you'll see something go.
There you go.
But until that happens, it's.
I would agree. And so the Vikings, I would think, are crazy to try and see if you can get this guy to play for him. But I don't want him going to the Raiders either. We have enough lackeys. And, of course, I don't know if they're even still interested in him. They went and dealt with a couple of running backs during free agency. So, anyway, that's the latest on Adrian Peterson. Now let's jump in here and talk about some transfers in college football. Florida State. Young man figures, not going to get much PT. Everett Golson's on the scene. John Franklin, quarterback from the Florida State Seminoles, transferring. He's out. Franklin had entered the offseason as the number 2 quarterback on Florida State's depth chart behind Sean McGuire. He missed the spring game due to an injury. And then that allowed backup quarterbacks DeAndre Johnson and J.J. Costino to get some more snaps and shine in the game. So Franklin looked around and said, now I've went from 2 down to McGuire, Johnson, Costino, and now Colson. There's 4 guys in camp for the quarterback for the Florida State Seminoles. So Franklin, a 3-star member of the Florida State 2013 recruiting class, he is gone, or he's going to be gone, transferring out. Only played in 2 games for the Seminoles, but spent a lot of time on the scout team. So apparently, guy's got a lot of talent, a very mobile quarterback, but he's gone. John Franklin out. He's transferring from Florida State. And so now you go into camp with 4 quarterbacks in your system: Everett Golson, Sean McGuire, DeAndre Johnson, and J.J. Costino. Hope you're saying that right. And so Franklin is history, moving on, and we'll see where he lands for the Seminoles, are now leaving the Florida State Seminole program. So he's out. Now, on the flip side, Georgia's kind of quiet about Everett Golson. Didn't want to say a whole lot about the fact they were not going after this guy. Well, there's a reason, because they are going after somebody else who is a transfer quarterback. He would be Grayson Lambert from the University of Virginia. One of those Cavaliers are moving on, and so all of a sudden the Georgia Bulldogs are interested very much in the services of Grayson Lambert. So I thought that was interesting. They didn't have a whole lot to say about Golson, kind of stayed mum about it when they kept getting asked about it, and all of a sudden they have jumped up on the radar screen of ask permission. There you go.
Ask permission.
That's as good as we're knocking on his door. And it's Grayson Lambert, transfer from the University of Virginia. And so Notre Dame quarterback Golson, again at Florida State. He apparently visited Georgia, though Mark Richt never confirmed it, before ultimately choosing Florida State. Bulldogs have reportedly received permission to talk to Virginia transfer Grayson Lambert. Started 9 games for the Cavaliers last season before suffering an ankle injury. As a graduate transfer, he'd be eligible to play immediately in 2015. You see a trend? You're starting to see a trend now.
Oh, yeah.
Because, if you transfer after you graduated, you play immediately. If you transfer as an undergrad, you haven't graduated yet, you got to sit out a year. So this guy's going to walk in. He has 2 years of eligibility remaining. So he's not a one and done. He actually has 2 years left. He's a graduate. As a graduate transfer from Virginia, he'd be eligible to play immediately this year and comes with 2 years of eligibility this year, next year.
Got scholarships not our part of the game anymore.
Yeah, so he's not a one and done with the Bulldogs. Right. He can play 2 years.
Yeah.
Now, last season, he started 9 games for Virginia. 59% of his passes he completed, 1,632 yards, 10 touchdowns, 11 interceptions. So he'd be eligible to play immediately, and Mark Richt says we're interested in him. So now, all of a sudden, you have a brand-new market out on the stage, if you will, and that would be graduate transfers. And I would think they're going to have to deal with that. Maybe they're not going to deal with it. NCAA has allowed Golson to transfer to Florida State, and now Grayson Lambert getting the green light to get a chance to go visit with the Georgia Bulldogs. So becoming pretty clear Mark Richt isn't quite convinced he has Georgia's next quarterback on the roster. That would be an understatement. Georgia quarterback battle is currently being waged by redshirt sophomore Bryce Ramsey, redshirt junior Fatan Batu, I don't think I'm saying it right, Faton, Faton, and his last name is Bauta. Batu, it wouldn't be Batu. I'm going to say Faton Bauta, with redshirt freshman Jacob Park still in the picture as well. So at this point, Rick would probably not mind having another quarterback in camp this summer. So he's talking to Grayson Lambert from Virginia. So there you go, from the Southeastern Conference. Interesting. See, the Southeastern Conference basketball, they came out with the schedule starting next year. The SEC basketball, they have 3 permanent opponents, each team will, to keep building those in-state rivalries and the rivalries in general. So Tennessee will for sure play home and away next year in men's basketball. Kentucky, South Carolina, and Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
And then everybody else will do a rotating, but they're going to play for sure those 6 games, home and away Kentucky, home and away South Carolina, and the obvious in-state home and away for the Vanderbilt Commodores. So there you be.
There you be,
boo-boo. So SEC, let's talk revenue.
Oh, yeah.
Bless their hearts, are going broke in the Southeastern Conference.
I tell you. And where does the money go?
Pitiful. It's really pitiful.
Where is the money going? Now, I've heard 2 different things. I've heard $435 million. I also heard $455 million. So, but that's total revenue last year for the SEC coming into their pockets.
Yeah, league record, $455 million. Each school, Southeastern Conference, to distribute $31 million in revenue per school in the SEC.
And where's it going? Where is it going?
I don't know.
Why don't they put that back into some academics, to help? I mean, that's what the sports brings in money, brings in notoriety to a school. Fine. Make it better, put it back into academics, not just sports. But, of course, no, they want bigger and better facilities. They want to pay coaches millions. Now they're talking about paying players. I mean, this is ridiculous.
Picked up a $10 million pay raise. This time last year, each school was getting $20 million. But, I mean, there again, $20 million. So it is big business.
Oh, yeah.
And so, but see, the hypocrisy of all this is, old Horace out there playing football, if I want to take you out and buy you a hot dog and soda pop after the game.
Can't do it.
Can't do it. But we're going to make $455 million
off your talent.
Off our student athletes. Yeah, and turn around and give each school.
Now, I'm still not in favor of paying the players, all right? These kids are coming in on scholarships, the majority of them, all right? And they are earning their education by playing football, basketball, or whatever. To me, that's $300,000 right there over a 4-year period in most schools on an average.
$31 million per school this year, Southeastern Conference.
Yeah.
$10 million increase from a year ago. $10 million. Where is it going? I mean, is it going for facilities?
It's going to somebody's pocket.
Somebody's getting it.
Bunch of crab legs out in Florida.
There you go. I don't know about
Florida
that.
State.
Yeah. Of course, that's not the SEC, but that's
I don't care.
Problem for all of us growing up that our parents told us we need to go to school instead of being a school. There you go. So it's big business, and when folks say college football is not big business, I mean they're smoking something. It's big business. Well, not just college football, but just college athletics.
Yep.
$31 million a school this year. So that means Tennessee's getting a check from the Southeastern Conference for $31 million. Now,
I know it costs a lot of money to take a team, put it on a plane, and fly it across the country to go play somebody else. So I know where some of that money is going, but that doesn't account for $31 million.
No, there's no way. Ain't a snowball's chance it's going to cost them $31 million. And, of course, there's a lot of teams do a lot of traveling, and I'm sure it's not cheap to put the rowing team, the soccer team, whatever sport you're talking about, on the bus or however they're flying, however they get them there. Just like, for example, Tennessee's at the College World Series. I'm sure it's not cheap flying out there, put them up, and they don't stay in a rinky-dink hotel.
They're not staying at Super 8, I can tell you that.
No, so they're staying in a nice hotel, so I'm sure it costs, but $31 million. My point in all this is college sports is a business, period. And it comes to a point, it has to come to a point, these guys and ladies need to get compensated in one way, shape, or form somehow. I mean, it's because they're making money off these kids left and right, and it's so, as I said, so petty, some of the rules that these schools get busted for by the NCAA on this side. But on this side, they're writing checks for $31 million. But if I take you out for a hot dog or whatever, who got in trouble here not too long ago? They did a pictures for a fundraiser. Remember that? Where they one of the schools, I can't remember which one it was, but they did pictures for a fundraiser for a kid that was terminally ill. They wanted to do some pictures, and they utilized some of the players from one of these universities. And the NCAA said, "Oh, you can't do that. That's
Michigan. It was Michigan.
It was Michigan. Yeah, that's what it was. It wasn't SEC. It was Michigan. Oh, you can't do that. Well, All right, but on the flip side, we're writing checks for $31 million.
Yeah.
It's just,
And keep in mind, this does not include probably the revenue that individual schools generate on their own. Ticket sales, okay?
I think it's a lot of TV money is what this is.
Ticket sales, and then, your advertising and everything that the schools do locally on their own. Now, that's bringing in a big chunk of change, too. So this doesn't even include that. This is what the SEC is giving each school.
Yes. So it's interesting to say the least. Big business for the Southeastern Conference and just big business in college sports, not just the SEC. I'm not going to pick on them. Big money, no question about that. And so I was trying to find this other story. What was the other one we were talking about? Oh, the attendance. The coaches are a little upset about the attendance, which I didn't understand, and I want to get to that here. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show. We thank you for being with us, Horace. Tell them how they can win tickets to go to Thunder Valley Nationals coming up in 2 weeks.
Well, if you want to send us your name and contact information, send it to tomtaylorsportshow@gmail.com. Drop us a line on that email address, and maybe you, too, will be going to watch the Drags.
There you go, Thunder
Valley Nationals.
NHRA, baby. It's going to be a lot of fun. Again, we're working our way through this Friday edition. Coming up in just a few minutes, David Carmichael of the John City Parks and Rec will join us. Also, he'll do the quiz show. See if I can get it off at 8 today. He's already sent me the topic. It'll be my team, the Oakland Raiders. Last time we did my team, I went 0 for 5. So one can only hope. That was with the Reds last Friday. So one can only hope that I'll do better with my team. So apparently I'm supposed to know a lot about the Raiders. We'll see.
You're going down
we'll
again.
We'll see, Carmichael. Thanks. All right, here we go. SEC, one more SEC story before the break. By nature, football coaches can be a distrusting group of people. Now, multiply that tenfold of the Southeastern Conference, throw in new money for players that in some cases will differ by a couple of $1,000s between schools, and you get skeptical SEC eyes over cost of attendance. Now, here's where we're going with this. Southeastern Conference coaches want players to have extra money in their pockets and are glad it's happening. Many wonder how some of their rivals' financial aid offices calculated their numbers based on federal guidelines and how it's going to work for individual students when they petition their school for more money. Now, did you know that they're giving students money? Within the Southeastern Conference, Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State, for example, all offer more than $5,000 per player. Schools such as Georgia, LSU, and Florida are under $4,000. Although no one knows how much of a factor cost of attendance will have in a recruit's decision, coaches with high numbers are promoting them as an advantage. So Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State can say, hey, we're going to pay you more.
This is per diem money.
Right. This is not flat-out money, but this is per diem.
Yeah, you go out to California to play a football game, they're going to give you X number of dollars to go eat.
Athletic scholarships have not covered the individual number school list as the full cost of attending college. Let me say it again. For years, athletic scholarships have not covered the individual numbers school list as the full cost of attending college because they're all very off to the side, student athletes. That's changing this year, when athletic scholarships can include not only the traditional tuition, room, board, and books and fees, but also the incidental cost of attending college, which is $5,000 a player at Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State, under $4,000 for Georgia, LSU, and Florida.
Is that per year?
Yes, and what they're saying is, per player, I should say, per year, yes. And what they're saying is it's an unfair advantage because, for example, Tennessee, Auburn, and Mississippi State can say, hey, Horace, we're probably going to give you about $5,000 come up here and hang out with us. Georgia, LSU, and Florida are under $4,000. So it's a –
So they are paying players.
In essence. I mean, that's what I'm seeing.
I mean, at $5,000 at Tennessee, 4-year commitment, that's $20,000 right there, okay, on top of their scholarship.
LSU Athletic Director Joe Oliva says the basic components of the cost of attendance should be the same at each school, such as the cost of a laptop computer for an athlete or the number of trips provided at home for an athlete. LSU's cost of attendance average number is right around $3,100. Tennessee's at $5,000. Difference of cha-ching, $1,900 per player. So they're saying, once again, we need to have a level playing field. So, and now they're –
Take it out of the $31 million.
There you go. They're all getting checks for $31 million. So, anyway, it's all about the cost of attendance figures, and it's all based on that for the student athletes at the Southeastern Conference schools. And so, in January, by the way, the SEC tried unsuccessfully to pass a proposal that would require schools to regularly file a report to the NCAA explaining individual cost of attendance variances. SEC officials still don't understand why the vote failed to pass. So, do you understand all this cost of attendance?
Yeah, well, partly. I think some schools it costs more to actually be there. You know, the cost of living is higher than other schools. So I can see how that might play into it a little bit. $5,000 a year? Yeah, I don't know. You know, these other schools that aren't paying as much, they're crying like a big baby. I mean, if they don't like it, then raise theirs. I mean, you know, come on. Like I said, these teams getting $31 million. You know, but of course, you take a school like Tennessee versus Mississippi State, the sheer number of athletes is probably different. You probably got a whole lot more athletes at Tennessee than you do at Mississippi State. Plus, you got more revenue. So they can afford to pay $5,000 an athlete. I don't know.
Auburn has one of the Southeastern Conference's highest cost of attendance average at over $5,500. However, even that figure is not a one-size-fits-all calculation, can vary based on whether the student's in-state, out-of-state, or there are other personal needs provided to the financial aid office. See, something don't sound right.
Well, they all got their different templates they work by.
Yeah. For example, he says, if you live in Birmingham and I live in Auburn, if I go through the financial aid process, excuse me, my number could be lower than yours because I live close to Auburn.
Yeah.
But if I have a child, then my child care could increase. You may not. But if I have a child, then my child care could increase, and you may not. Ours is an average number, so it could fluctuate. So
I can still see where there needs to be accountability. You just don't want to just hand over money. But still, these other schools that are complaining about other schools paying more, well, that, you know, la-di-da. You don't like it? Up yours. Give them more.
Okay, took care of that. If you don't like it, up yours. We'll take a quick break. I'll be right back. We've got David Carmichael waiting in the wings, talking about what's going on in the John City Parks and Rec, and also the quiz show coming up here on this Friday edition.
Now, are you going to?
I'm going there, and I'm going to call here. So you're going to go yonder, and you're going to go to yonder, and I'm going to call yonder here. You're going to hit that one. I'm going to make a phone call.
Okay. Well, I didn't know what kind of a break you're wanting. That's what I was trying.
I want that one, so I can go to that break, so I can call Carmichael and go 5 for 5 on the quiz show.
Go 5 for 5
and get this over with.
All right.
Quick break. We'll be right back on the Friday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Friday, wrapping up our 16th week together, day number 78. Certainly thank you for that. Let's go to the Bonies there, our buddy David Carmichael with the John City Parks and Rec. Good afternoon, Carmichael. How are you, my friend?
It's great to be a Friday. Great short week this week with being our office is closed Monday and bookending it this week with a little music. Had the Old Crow Medicine Show Monday night over in my new hometown of Black Mountain, North Carolina, and then going to see Garth Brooks tomorrow night.
Going to Garth Brooks in Knoxville, is that right?
Yes.
Wow, man, you're all over the place. So
I am just a true troubadour.
There you go. How close are your tickets to the stage for Garth Brooks?
We're in the close. I've seen him now. This, I think, will be the 7th time, and this is the closest I've ever been. It's like in the 100 section. Usually I'm in the nosebleed, but But this time I was lucky, had a little bit of luck, so I'm down kind of on the side. If it was at a basketball game at UT, I would be behind the benches.
All right, that's not bad. So
no,
you've seen him 6 times. Garth Brooks, obviously, he puts on a show, right?
Yes, he learned his lessons years ago from different entertainers. I mean, he even admits how the rock and roll, the big stage shows of the arena and stadium shows of the 80s kind of influenced how he does his show, and also a legendary cowboy and music guy named Chris Ledoux also Garth took a lot from as far as putting on a show, and he does a great show. And I mean, it's great for Knoxville. I mean, they had four sellout nights at Thompson Bowling Arena, and they've never had that in all my years of remembering things down at Thompson Bowling.
Does he still go out over the crowd on a cable and all that, sing? Does he still do all those kind of special effects?
I saw this show in Atlanta in September when he came back on tour. He didn't do that. He didn't go out that far. But he did come off like the hydraulic lift, when he comes on the stage, or he did that in Atlanta. So be interesting to see if he's done any changes to the show since September.
We're talking to David Carmichael of the Johnson City Parks and Rec. You have a very special day coming up on June the 9th. Tell me what's going on, my friend.
This is Celebrate Life Day, and it's for cancer survivors and caregivers. And I am a cancer survivor, survived a bout of rectal cancer, stage 3, 3 years ago, and understand how you do with that. During the morning, this will be down at the Memorial Park Community Center. It'll be from 9 a.m. to noon. And there will be an art project, art display, a free lunch, and there will be some stories from people who have survived cancer and also caregivers. I cannot imagine, I don't know what I would have, my now wife, she was at that time my girlfriend, was my caregiver during my illness, and I don't know what I would have done had I not had her. I mean, the caregivers are just as amazing as the story of surviving cancer. A lot of times that caregiver is just as amazing to be able to deal with someone going through that dreaded disease.
I think you're exactly right. And kudos to your girlfriend now, your lovely bride. That's good. So it's all good in Carmichael land. It's on June the 9th. That would be That's a Tuesday.
Tuesday
coming up.
Any insurance questions, and I can tell you that's another thing that you deal with when you go through cancer and the illness, and if you have to go through surgery and those things. And they'll do some great prizes, door prizes and surprises during the morning, and there's no cost, and it's open to all ages.
Yep, Celebrate Life Day again from 9 to noon on Tuesday, June the 9th. If you need more information, call them at 434-6235 to register. And again, that's coming up on June the 9th, again at the Memorial Park Community Center in Johnson City. Celebrate Life Day. So neat stuff. Art display, free lunch. Hear inspirational stories. Are you speaking over there, by the way?
No, I'm not. They did not. That was something that, and a lot of the people in the department's aware of my story, but not everyone. So that's just, and my story. There are so many others that have fought even a lot more courageous fight than something that I went through. So I'm just thankful for a lot of people, and thankful for the physicians I had in this area. My surgery was done. I had 3 surgeries done at the Cleveland Clinic in Cleveland, Ohio. Thankful to my doctor, Dr. Lavery there, and the fine people of the Cleveland Clinic, the American Cancer Society. They do a great job in everything they do. They provided housing for us when we were in Cleveland, and things like that. Anytime you get a chance to donate to the American Cancer Society or do anything for them, I always tell people it's well worth it.
There you go. Well put, my friend. I did not know that, so I learned something new about my buddy Carmichael, and that's a good thing. So we're glad you're here with us and contributing every day to the show, or not every day, but every week, certainly. All right, SEC making $31 million per school. They're getting checks from, I guess, Southeastern Conference, going to dole out checks for $31 million a school. What's your take on that, my friend?
College sports is America's answer to FIFA. I mean, first of all,
I love it.
You've got who would go to a Shreveport, Louisiana, in the end of December for a bowl game, for a football game?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've always thought between the United States Chamber of Commerce is one of the most powerful lobbying factors in this country. And you have chambers of commerce, you have the NCAA. I mean, it's not on the the grand thing of FIFA, but it's up there. I mean, it's a money. I mean, big time college athletics is a money making enterprise.
So where does it go? $31 million. Does it go to cover kids, books, buying the meals on the road?
It goes in somebody's pocket.
There you go. All right.
It goes in somebody's pocket. It's not going to the athletes.
Nope. It can't go to the athletes. You're right.
And and you know, when they do say these things, all you hear from universities are, when we go to a bowl game, how much it costs us to go to that bowl game.
Right.
And here's the neat trick. Not only do you have to, like, and I'll just use Tennessee as an example because they're the closest one. If Tennessee's band wants to go to perform at say the Fiesta Bowl, they have to pay for the band to go out there.
Yep.
The band doesn't come. If Tennessee has 30,000 tickets to sell for the Fiesta Bowl, if they don't sell all 30,000 of those tickets, the university has to pay for the remaining tickets that are unsold. Rather than turning them back in and letting somebody sell them, they have to pay for the rest of their allotment.
Huh. They got to.
I mean, that's in all bowl. That sometimes will keep a team from going to a bowl game if they don't think they can sell X amount of tickets. They're not going to take they may not go on the hook to go to the bowl game. There's bands that don't perform to go to perform because it just costs too much money to send the band there to perform at halftime of a bowl game.
Wow, we're talking to David Carmichael. So if you give me 10,000 tickets, I don't sell them all. I gotta cut you a check for unsold tickets, right?
Unsold tickets in most of the major bowl games now. That is the policy that's being done.
Wow, did not know that. Well, I did know that, but didn't realize it to that extent. All right, also. The cost of attendance figures. I read this today from the Southeastern Conference coaches are skeptical of the cost of attendance figures. What's your take on all that?
I mean, the SEC now is really having I think they've kind of got themselves in a bunker. Now this camp this is the big thing now is the camp or the satellite camps.
Right.
Where the Big Ten and especially the Big Ten, I think a lot of it started with especially with James Franklin. Going to Penn State and setting up these satellite camps at other universities in the South.
Mm-hmm.
For a long time it was okay to do these camps they were doing these camps at maybe South Carolina would go to Wofford and do a camp with the coaches, or do some kind of camp and bring kids in. Now you're having it. I mean, cross country. Big Ten's doing it. Big 12 has started doing it. They're going and setting up satellite camps. The SEC and the ACC are not. There's no real hard, fast rule, and they're waiting. There's a proposal before the NCAA this year to outlaw these satellite camps. And now I read that if that proposal does not pass, then the SEC by next year will start doing this. And this is for prospects. This is to get a foothold in the territory. And you look at what Penn State has done. I mean, he was able to get the recruiting back, starting back, trying to build the team back from when Coach O'Brien was there, and built and got the program going back in the right direction, so to speak. And now he's just a walking billboard and a walking promoter. I mean, he was that way at Vanderbilt.
We're talking to David Carmichael. He just tells it like it is, like the late Howard Cosell. Now, one more topic in the SEC. These camps are talking about. Now, I found this out the other day when Gabe was in here on the show with me. He's a big Alabama guy, and I didn't realize till he explained it to me that Urban Meyer, Jim, pick any of the coaches that are non-SEC coaches can come to a SEC camp at the school that they want to come and hit and kind of stand around, shake hands, and basically look for prospects the way I've got it. But on the flip
that's
side,
kind of what it is. It's like going to, and I think it was like in Penn State's case, they were going to like Florida Atlantic,
yeah,
a non-SEC school,
right,
and they were going to maybe Central Florida or Georgia. I think somebody went to Georgia State and did one.
But now
they're doing at these other schools' camps. And they could you sell. You're not only selling your program, and you're letting your coaches then work with their coaches. Which, over the years, that's happened. That happens sometimes in the NFL where, you may want to go in and see how, say, Bill Belichick does things on defense, and he brings a set of coaches in, or Pete Carroll does something where he brings a group of coaches in. Well, that was for a long time that was happening. In the NFL that happened, and even in college football, sometimes you'd bring people in and say, "We want to take a look at how you run your offense." Now, a lot of times they would do it, especially if you weren't going to play that school that year or even the next year.
Yep. All
but
right.
now they're doing it, and it's now letting these kids see. It's almost like the kids are getting recruited by two schools. They're getting recruited by little school, and then they're getting recruited by big school.
Exactly, and more times than not, big school wins out. So, interesting.
Right.
Last question, we'll get on to the quiz show. Adrian Peterson, the Vikings, whose side are you on? You on Peterson's side or the Vikings side?
Not on the Vikings. I mean, I think he's, I think it's, and mini camps, things like this, you don't really get worried about it. You don't get worried unless he misses training camp. That's when then you start worrying. And, I mean, I know Mike Zimmer I think they'd like to get him in considering he really didn't play at all last year.
Yeah.
But it's just the thing, he wants more money.
Yes.
That's all pure and simple. He wants to be paid like the top players in the league.
And they said either you come play for us, you're not going to play. So we'll see.
Right, and basically they're right. He really needs to come back and play this year with them, or at least if they can't work a deal out. And I still think sometime between now and training camp there may be a deal worked out with Pearson.
See, I don't understand what the deal is because the guy's already signed the contract. He's in the fold. He's in the camp. Shouldn't be any other deals. It's like you signed the contract.
Well, I'm talking about maybe a trade.
Oh,
a trade as
a
deal.
Right.
I still think there's a possibility that he gets traded between now and training camp.
Think he'll go to the Raiders?
I know the one team he wants to go to, but I don't know if they've got the money under the cap to have him, and that's Dallas.
He wants to go to the Cowboys. Yep.
He's from Dallas. He's from the area, and he wants to play there, and that's been no big secret. But Arizona was really pursuing him hot and heavy, and I really think he would like to run behind that offensive line in Dallas. Because I read the quote that Joseph Randall said about DeMarco Murray, and it's like, what a great year DeMarco had last year. But he said DeMarco left a lot of meat on the bone, meaning he could have had a lot more yardage than what he had.
On that note, we're time now for the quiz show. We're talking to Carmichael, and we've got some sports camps to talk about. So here we go. It's time for the quiz show, brought to you by American Import and Auto Repair, home of the free loaner car program. We go 5 for 5 today. We'll have free oil change from American Import and Auto Repair. We'll also have a free haircut from Cherokee Barbershop down on South Roan Street with the Gator Man. Also, we'll give them some free food from the Cracker Barrel of your choice, obviously. You can go to any of those. And also, we'll give you some all-day passes to Bays Mountain Park. Here we go. Oh, yes, I'm excited. David Carmichael with the John City Parks Direct. Asking the questions. Again, the topic today would be my favorite all-time professional football team, the Oakland Raiders. So,
yes, we're going with the Raiders today. So, question number 1.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. By the way, we are playing today for Margot Ward. Margot lives in Johnson City, and if we can win this for her, she will go and enjoy all the prizes we talked about. Question number 1. Here we go.
Al Davis was not the original owner of the Raiders.
That's true.
You are correct.
Yeah, it was John Ralston.
He was hired as the head coach in '62. Bought 10% of the team in '66, '67 after he left being the commissioner of the AFL. And Al Davis from Brooklyn was an assistant coach at the Citadel.
I was going to say, did you know what school he and
Citadel and Al Davis? Something's not right with that picture.
All right, question number 2.
True or false? Marcus Allen holds the single-season Oakland Raider record for rushing touchdowns.
Rushing touchdowns in a single season, Marcus Allen, that is false.
You are correct.
Oh!
Pete Banaszak.
Yep.
He came in after Mark Van Eegen, all those Colgate running backs that the Raiders had back in the 70s.
All right, so we're 2 for 2.
2 for 2.
Here we go.
True or false, the Raiders have never had the AP NFL Coach of the Year.
The Raiders have never had the AP, Associated Press, Coach of the Year. You've had Davis. I'm thinking Tom Flores was the AP. All right, so you're asking true and false. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Please restate the question. That's very critical that you do that.
True or false? The Raiders have never had the AP NFL Coach of the Year.
The Raiders never had the AP NFL Coach of the Year. I'm going to say, gosh, read it. All right, I'm confused myself. Read it one more time, please.
True or false?
Yes.
The Raiders have never had the AP NFL Coach of the Year.
That is false. They have.
No, they have not.
All right.
That shocked me. I thought maybe Flores or even John Madden.
No, I wouldn't have thought
I can't believe Lane Kiffin didn't win.
Yeah. I overthought that one.
So, okay.
That's a stupid question, but go ahead. All right.
Oh, wait a minute. You missed that, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Okay,
So.
sorry. You hit the bell.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
True or false?
Yeah, here we go.
The Raiders are the only AFL team to win both the AFL championship and the Super Bowl.
Let's see here. AFL championship, and that is true.
That's false.
All right.
Kansas City and the Jets both won an AFL championship, and they both won a Super Bowl. And the Raiders.
Now, wait a minute. No. The Raiders won an AFL championship.
And a Super Bowl.
In the same year?
No.
Oh, just in general?
I didn't say that. I just said they won both titles.
Let's don't get testy, Horace. Okay.
Horace?
Yeah, that sounds like you over there. Okay. All right, I'm 2 for 4. Here we go.
Okay.
At least I didn't go 0 for 5 on my team. All right, go ahead.
True or false? And these are Cowboy stars, Dallas Cowboy stars, Mel Renfro,
yes,
Craig Morton, and John Nyland were all drafted by the Raiders.
I know one of them was. Mel Renfro, John Nyland, and
Craig Morton were all drafted by the Raiders, and you have to think about the history of football and how it was in the early 60s.
Yep. Let's see. Mel Renfro, John Nyland, and Craig Morton all were once drafted by the Raiders.
That shouldn't be bad for you. You were around when they took the first snap.
I'll pretend I didn't hear that. Let's see. I'm going to say that. Let's see. Were they all drafted by the Raiders? I'm going to say that is. I know 2 were. I'm going to say that's false.
True. They all 3 were drafted by the Raiders. They were drafted in the AFL draft and the NFL. Back then, you had both an AFL draft and an NFL draft, and you had players drafted in both drafts.
Gotcha. So I didn't do well. I went 2 for 5. So there you go.
I mean, it was interesting to even see like Carroll Dale from this area. Carroll Dale was drafted by the Raiders, and, he played on those great Packer teams. But it would have been interesting to see, had he went to the Raiders, what kind of numbers he could have put up playing in an offense that threw the ball all over the place.
That was the greatest offense ever, greatest football team ever, the Oakland Raiders. So, yeah, because Dale, well, he wasn't bad with that guy named Bart Starr, but let's
right.
see.
And even Lance Allworth was drafted by. That was the other one that blew my. Lance Allworth was drafted by the Raiders, and he was just traded. They had him traded into San Diego.
Wow. Yep. Great Charger.
Could you imagine Lance Allworth and Fred Biletnikoff
catching him from
Lance
Darryl
Allworth
LaMonica
on one side, Fred Biletnikoff on the other?
Catching him from Darryl LaMonica would be pretty good. So.
I mean, you would 50, 60 points game.
Yeah. There you go. All right, Carmichael, it's been another rough quiz show. Didn't do well. Went 2 for 5, so I'm going to kind of slither off the microphone here. And we're going to talk about your sports camps. What about your sports camps, the Parks and Rec?
We got sports camps coming up. The first one that will be coming up is the football camp. They'll be doing that camp over at the Kermit Tipton Stadium June 8th through June 12th from 9 till 12. And this is from ages 6 to 12, and it's $30 for the registration for the camp. Then at Memorial Park Community Center, June 22nd through 26th, also from 9 a.m. to 12, it will be a basketball camp over there for $30. And then July 13th through 17th, we'll be doing a baseball camp over at the Keystone Park, over right next to the Memorial Park Community Center, where the Johnson National Little League plays. $30 for the camp, ages 6 to 12, and the times for all those camps are 9 a.m. to noon.
I was going to ask you what pools are open right now for the summer.
We've got the pool at Legion Street is still open, even though we're not in the building, Legion Street building anymore, not operating it. We still operate the Legion Street pool, and now it's open daily. I think we open at 10 o'clock now in the mornings, And same thing on the weekend. On Saturdays, we're open at 10 and 1 o'clock on Sundays.
All right, so there you go. Sports camp. So we did 2 for 5 on the stupid Raiders thing. Those are dumb questions, and so
awesome questions.
Anytime I don't get them, they're dumb questions. So, but I do appreciate your research. And what would be next week's topic? Can you kind of give me a little heads up now?
I haven't started thinking about it yet. We've done the Reds, we've done the Raiders. I don't know who's. Maybe the Celtics are next. You're just a Larry Joe Bird fan.
I'm a Larry Bird fan. I'm a big Spurs fan, so I don't know if that's.
Well, maybe we can come up with some San Antonio questions.
Oh, God, okay.
Where is the Alamo?
Yeah. How about this one? What state, true or false, is in Texas? That would be true. So that's the kind of questions I need. I need third-grade sports questions, Carmichael. I've been stuck on 8 here for about 6 weeks. I get off the snide here, so I need third-grade sports questions like the bats they use in wiffle ball, true or false, they're plastic. That's what I need to know. Can you come up with some of those?
Or let's see, maybe, what city are the Dallas Cowboys in?
There you go, San Antonio. So
yeah.
That's what I'm talking, Carmichael.
Actually, it's Irving, Texas.
Help me hold that out.
Well, no, it's not Irving anymore. It's actually they're in Arlington.
Arlington, okay.
In Arlington?
Yeah, Arlington is where the team's at now, but it's all, yeah.
You would have missed that, Tom.
Carmichael, I'm digging my hole deeper, my friend. Let me just kind of slither off the microphone. Can I do that?
Yes, sir. We'll see you next week.
You have a great week. Great job. Thank you, my friend.
Tom.
Yep, good man right there. Appreciate his friendship, Carmichael. Mel Renfro, Craig Morton, and John Nyland drafted the Raiders. Who the crap cares? I guess would be the ones to answer, but I guess I needed to know that one, but I would have never guessed that in a million years. So anyway, stupid questions. I went 2 for 5. Monday, let's see, who's Monday? Monday we hit Gators in the hot seat Monday, and then we'll move on. So now, it's not becoming fun anymore. It's now it is now drudgery to get this and get through it and get it over with.
You're basically at 10%. Winnings.
Probably not even that good.
10% winnings. Well, over the last 3 weeks, you're right. You're probably 1%.
No, it's awful. I'm dogging it. It's terrible. And Apester laughs at me. Tommy laughs at me. You laugh at me. It's just my self-image is just shot going down the tube. So,
but your earbuds work now, right?
Earbuds work, and life's good. I'm drinking some water over here, and it's all good. So. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back, and we'll move on. We got more sports to cover for you coming up. We'll check in with Bill Patrick in a few minutes. He has got an update for us on the Kingsport Speedway, racing there this weekend, and also Lonesome Pine. Also, a little bit later on, Jeff Birchfield from the Johnson City Press will join us, and he'll give us a preview of the triple header this weekend. The Camping World Truck Series, I should say, also the Xfinity Series, and, of course, the Sprint Cup Series, all 3 racing this weekend in Dover, Delaware, at the track they call the Monster Mile. All that coming up. We'll be right back with more on the quiz show here on the Tom Taylor, or we got done with the quiz show. It was terrible. We'll be back after this with more sports on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Oil is the lifeblood of your vehicle. Blaine Turner from American Import and Auto Repair in Johnson City tells us an important role it plays.
Oil's actual number one job is for cooling your engine. Yes, you have your coolant and your coolant system, but oil actually is your primary coolant system. It pulls from heat from the hottest parts of the engine, and actually, has a higher velocity than, your coolant or anything like that. So no matter, when your engine hits those high temperatures, it's able to actually pull the heat out of there and help cool. As it pulls it out, it's a lot of wear and tear on it. So it gets dirty, it gets filthy because it's pulling the heat, pulling the dirt, everything like that. So it's very important to change it at the interval that it's due. If you have a standard oil, I would suggest 3,000. If you have a synthetic, I would suggest 6,000. Now, they do make different brands that go longer than that, but get with your mechanic and let them give you the information on which oil that is and whether your car's suited for that.
American Import and Auto Repair, Johnson City. Call today at 913-3111. Kingsport Cabinetry installs cabinets and countertops all over the 3-state region. Owner Richard Isaac says they work with both commercial and residential customers and love to help remodel existing homes.
What we do is if somebody comes in and wants to do a remodel, of course, they've got an existing home, existing kitchen. It might be a bathroom, whatever, it doesn't matter. We'll come out and take a look at their project. We'll do the measuring for them, come back in. While I'm at the home, I'll get the ideas that they want to incorporate into the kitchen, into the bathroom. We'll come back, we'll draw it up for them, have them come in for a meeting and go over everything with them. And once the drawings and stuff are approved, then we'll start the pricing process. We'll find out what kind of wood they want to use, what kind of countertops. Do they want Corian? Do they want granite? Do they want laminate countertops?
Kingsport Cabinetry. Quotes are free. Call today, 247-6134, 247-6134.
Hi, I'm Rob Cole with Bays Mountain Park. There's something for everyone at Bays Mountain Park. Whether you're an outdoor enthusiast or simply looking to get away and relax, Bays Mountain Park in Kingsport, Tennessee is the perfect destination. For only $4 per vehicle, enjoy 3,500 acres of breathtaking scenery, featuring 40 miles of hiking trails, wildlife habitats, one of the Southeast's premier planetariums, and much, much more. For more information, please visit www.baysmountain.com or call us at 423-229-9447. Bays Mountain Park, one of the Tri-City's best places for learning, leisure, and recreation.
Why couldn't you just ask simple questions? What's the Raiders are silver and black, true or false? Raiders are in Oakland, true or false? Why does he have to go with Mel Renfro, Craig Morton, and John Nyland were once drafted by the Raiders? How in the world would I know that? Why would I know that? So anyway, Carmichael smoked me on the quiz show, went a paltry 2 for 5 today, and I have no – at least I didn't go 0 for 5 2 weeks in a row with my two favorite teams. That would have been really bad. But the other one was – and I'm going to go check on this. I'm not so sure. They've never had a coach named the Associated Press Coach of the Year. I'm pretty sure Tom Flores won it 1 year, but I'm going to go back and double-check. But we'll go with it and say we didn't do well. But I got to double-check that one. I think that may be maybe one up for discussion because I'm pretty sure Tom Flores was named the AP Coach of the Year 1 year. But anyway, it is that which it is. We want to showcase young lady right now as we do from time to time. We're a patriotic bunch on this show. We're all about the stars and stripes of this great country. It is still the greatest country in the world. And so, young lady from Kingsport, Tennessee, who is dynamite. You're about to hear her sing the national anthem. Taylor Geese Sanders, formerly of Kingsport, now lives in Nashville. And back in the day, she was Taylor Geese. Of course, she's now married, obviously, Taylor Geese Sanders. So, a very, very talented young lady. She is in Nashville pursuing a music career, and you're about to hear why. As, again, she proudly sings, and we showcase her as often as we can. Here is Taylor Geese Sanders singing Yours and Mine and Our National Anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free
That is pretty good right now. That's real good. Good job, Taylor Geese Sanders from Nashville. That's the first time you've heard her sing it, right?
No, I played it the other day on Memorial Day.
That's
the
right.
day after.
Yeah, awesome. Young lady is dynamite. No bigger than a minnow, and she can flat. She got some
bigger
pipes.
than a minnow.
No bigger than a minnow. She's got some pipes, too. This young lady can flat do it. So thank you, Taylor Geese Sanders, for the national anthem as we work our way to the top of the hour. Before we go to the break, get ready for hour number 2 of the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Tim Tebow in camp, Philadelphia. Might not be the Eagles starting quarterback. He might not even make the final roster, but for as long as he's hitting the practice field, a red quarterback jersey will be an aspect of his practice attire. He's going to be protected, of course. According to head coach Chip Kelly, Tebow is not going to become a running back, a tight end, or even a fullback. He confirmed he is not going to convert Tebow into something that he isn't. He'll be the quarterback for the Philadelphia Eagles on their team. You think he'll make the team? Think he'll make it?
Yeah, I think he'll make it. And he's slimmer and trimmer, and I think he's really trying to learn to be an NFL drop-back quarterback.
Guy's under a microscope all the time.
Oh, he is.
I mean, they said he went in and worked out yesterday, and all the media were analyzing his motion. Now, some of the media I know down through the years couldn't even throw a football. How in the world can some of these guys analyze his motion, his arm? Some of these we're talking about sports writers. And so they wrote, he looked rusty and he didn't look this, didn't look that. I'm thinking this guy he catches more flack. I'm going to make this editorial comment. Over the last 5 years, 2 people in our society have been beat up more by the media are Tim Tebow and Sarah Palin.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
these
agree.
guys have been, and lady has been hammered. This guy gets hammered all the time. And so how he has kept his composure, that in of itself is a tribute to what this guy's made of, his tenacity. Anyway, a slimmer Tim Tebow threw passes in shorts while a horde of reporters critiqued his mechanics and analyzed his arm motion. Well, that certainly means a lot.
Analyzing an arm motion.
Yeah.
Who are reporters to analyze anything to begin with?
That's what I'm saying. When was the last time they played? And maybe some of them have, but I'm thinking, really? We got guys out there with a notepad and a pencil analyzing his throw. Do they analyze I don't know who's the other quarterback. McNabb's gone. Do they analyze Eli Manning? Do they analyze Peyton Manning? Do they analyze Derek Carr from the Raiders?
Jameis Winston?
Yeah, why Tim? Yeah, here we go. Why Tim Tebow?
Because he stands for something that nobody else does.
There you go. Hit it right there, because he makes a stand for what we all should be standing for, and so some folks don't like that. He's always under a microscope, and I, for one, resent it because he is who he is, the guy, in fact, Kelly says you guys will see him today, watch him throw, and think he's improved. He's spent a lot of time in the last few years in terms of working on his game. So now he is not in a no-cut situation. He can still lose his job. He can still get cut. The quarterbacks ahead of him are Mark Sanchez and Sam Bradford, who are the favorites to land the starting job in Philadelphia, but he's there. And so Chip Kelly again said, we're not going to convert him. He's a quarterback. He's going to be our third quarterback on the roster. Where he ends up playing, it'll be up to him, of course, and the other 2 guys, but he will stay as a quarterback. And I applaud Tim Tebow, first, for what he stands for. Number 2, just imagine all the stuff this guy goes through all the time.
I know.
And along with Sarah Palin, which is not a sports topic per se, but, hey, it is what it is. She was under the microscope all the time. And so anyway, Tebow is in camp, again, with those OTAs, organized team activities, and, again, if he does make the roster as a quarterback, they can use him other ways too. He can still become the quarterback on 2-point conversions because he can tuck and run. He's a pretty big boy.
Oh yeah, he can hold the ball for.
He can hold it.
Yeah.
But he can definitely run it. In fact, that's one of the things you're looking at on the new ruling where you can, with the 2-point conversion, they may let him be the 2-point conversion quarterback. Just let him get the ball and just grind it out. Follow the Hogs up front. So we think it's pretty cool. Tim Tebow, again, in camp, working hard, and being analyzed by reporters. I love this. A horde of reporters critiquing his mechanics and analyzing his arm motion. Good grief. We'll take a break. Hour number 2 coming up. We'll check in with Bill Patrick from the Kingsport Speedway, see what's going on there. Also later in the show, Jeff Birchfield will be with us from the Johnson City Press, getting ready for the weekend racing in Dover, back in NASCAR, and also Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse will all be scheduled to join us coming up here in the next hour right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments, and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
Back with the Tom Taylor Sports Show again on this Friday. It's the weekend, our 78th day together. Fridays mean racing at the Concrete Jungle at Kingsport Speedway. Let's go to the ponies there. Our buddy Bill Patrick. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
Doing good. How are you, Tom?
Just fine, sir. Appreciate you checking in with us every week, and we love talking about the Concrete Jungle, the Kingsport Speedway. And tell us what's going to be going on over there this weekend.
Well, our local boys will be back this weekend at the Concrete Jungle. We have the modified four-cylinders, the Pure Fours, late models, street stock. I think Pure Street's going to be there tonight. We're going to have a full house tonight.
We have a full house. Now, who are some of the local stars? Throw out some names and some drivers that folks will come there tonight to watch and cheer for.
Well, he's got Zeke Shell, and you got Chris Van Dyke in late models. You've got the Ketrins that a lot of people follow in the Pure Four, and Kenny Absher, Keith Helton. You've got John Harrell and Broadband, and you've got Ross Peters and Street Stock. And then modified four, you got Billy Duty out of Abington. Then you've got the Ambergy, father and son. Both of them have a different car. They have pretty good following.
We're talking to Bill Patrick from the Kingsport Speedway. So, for folks who've never been there, I mean, do these guys have crews? Do they have pits? Not pits, but do they have pit crews? Who works on their cars? Kind of tell me how do they compare to the big boys we see in here on TV in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series?
Well, usually the late models are on the front pit, and they have a full crew with their enclosed trailers and stuff. They pull them in and work on them. Then usually after qualifying, we'll tape the hoods down. They ain't allowed to touch the car until after the race. The street stocks are usually mixed in with some of the late models on the front, and then some of them are on the back stretch. The modified four-cylinders are usually right outside the turn 2 gate, and then my Pure 4 drivers they have a pit outside on turn 1. We open the gate and let them in. So it's usually a pretty good bunch of race cars there. They can't all fit down in the infield. So.
We're talking to Bill Patrick again for the Kingsport Speedway, the Concrete Jungle racing again. Is it tonight? Is that right?
Right. Tonight in Kingsport at the Concrete Jungle. Gates open about 5:45. Qualifying will get underway about 6 o'clock. They usually do the national anthem prayer around 7:55, and we'll start racing at 8 o'clock.
And again, for folks who have not been there, it's easy to find. It's on one of the major arteries of Kingsport on John B. Dennis Highway. If you know where Sullivan North High School is, just keep on going, and you'll see the sound, or you'll see the lights, and you'll certainly hear the cars. Very easy to find. It's off one of the main thoroughfares in Kingsport on John B. Dennis Highway. We're talking about the Kingsport Speedway, the Concrete Jungle. when folks win over there, Bill Patrick, what do they win? Prize money? Do they win trophies? What kind of prize do these guys win?
They get a trophy, but they also win money too. The rookie only gets a trophy; they don't get any money. But the rest of the guys, they do get money for winning. I'm really not sure what the purse is. But, I think the late model pays quite a bit more than the street stock and the Mod 4 and the Pure 4s. But, yeah, they do win money. It's sure not enough money to keep that car going, that's for sure. They've got a lot of money invested in those cars and crews.
I was going to ask you that, too. You're around that. Again, we're talking to Bill Patrick. What does it cost, or what's it cost to put a car on this level, not at NASCAR Spring Cup or the Truck Series, but here in the concrete jungle, Kingsport Speedway? What kind of money does it cost to get to put a car out there for the season?
I would say more likely these late model cars, these boys probably got $50,000 in these cars. The street stocks, they anywhere between $10,000 and $20,000, and then the four-cylinder, the Mod 4s are probably between $5,000 and $10,000. Then your Pure 4s are usually somewhere between $3,000 up to $10,000, depends on how nice they want to make them. Of course, then they've got all their tools and equipment and all that goes with it. So they put quite a bit of money into this, of their own money.
We're talking to Bill Patrick. Now, to be fair, I said earlier, guys, on this level, are there any females out there racing tonight?
I'm not sure she'll be there tonight. We have a couple that drive the Legends, but then tomorrow night at Coburn, Emma Stiltner is driving in the Pure Street and working up her way up. She has a street stock. Her dad's been driving it, but she's working her way up to that will be her car. So yeah, there's some girls. There is one girl that drives the late model over in Coburn. So yeah, there's some ladies driving too.
Good stuff. We're talking to Bill Patrick. So, again, set us up tonight, Kingsport Speedway. Tell us what's going on, and also tell us about tomorrow night in Coburn, would you please?
Okay. We have the full slate tonight of our people at gates open at 5:45, qualifying at 6. Race will get underway at 8 o'clock tonight. Tomorrow night, gates will open around 4 or 4:30. Qualifying will get underway around 5, and racing starts at 7 o'clock at Coburn. So it gives us time to get back home because it's about an hour drive from Kingsport to Coburn. We try to get done a little earlier over there than we do over here.
Before I let you go, say hello to your relative down in Florida listening this afternoon. Say hello to her, would you please?
All right, Anna Ruth Brown, Jacksonville, Florida. Say hi to you.
Hello, Anna Ruth. This is Elvis. Hello, baby. Oh, thank you very much. There you go. How'd I do? Did I do good, Bill?
Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah, I can tell. All right. Bill, thank you, my friend. We'll check in with you next Friday. Thank you as always. Appreciate the report, all right?
All right. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Great job again. Bill Patrick with the Kingsport Speedway, the Concrete Jungle, and also Coburn. I don't think he was too wild with my Elvis. And he just
I wasn't either.
No. Well, you don't care. You never.
I don't matter.
You don't. Well, yeah, you do matter. You don't like anything I do. So I could stand up here and do my best. Well, whatever. Okay. So it's hard to please you, or no, it's hard to not please you. It's hard to wow you.
Wow me?
Yeah. I've only wowed you a couple of times since I've met you. So. But I have to agree that was a pretty poor rendition or imitation of Elvis. Wasn't very good. And
the day you do this show all on your own, solo, I will be wowed.
All right. Well, it may be coming sooner than you think. So, and I believe I can do it. I believe I'm going to try it real soon. He's taking some more time off here in the near future, so we may be flying solo on this bad boy, this puppy. So, yeah. So when I do the show live, when I do the show by myself, you'll be wild. Now, how will I know you're going to be wild?
Because I'll listen to it.
I know, but now how will you convey to me that you're wild?
The next time you see me.
Okay. You would say something like, man, that's the wow factor. You liked it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. We'll hold you to it. So, I guess. So,
FIFA reelected that controversial.
Yeah, Mr. Blatter.
Yeah, that just came across my phone.
Yeah. I saw that. Now, I got that to talk about, and I also have got the other story. Mr. Belichick.
Bill Belichick, has he opened his mouth finally?
Oh, yeah. He addressed reporters after the Patriots' organized team activity today, speaking for the first time since NFL hammered him and his team with the Deflategate punishments. And he was, this is what he says, and I quote, when asked about the Deflategate, he says, that was a long time ago. We're on the next year.
That was a long time ago.
2015, he says. You can forget about last year. That was last year. So.
It wasn't that long ago, and
no.
It's still right up front.
Yeah. No, it's very much in the news. Belichick also said, quote, we're just working hard. We're just concentrating on our practices. And he just, gave that song and dance. But anyway, he says that was a long time ago. 2015's where we are now. You can forget about that. That was last year. Now, if I'm not memory serves me correctly, this is May, and the Super Bowl was in where? February?
Yeah.
March, April, May. You're talking less than 90 days. Bill, honey, wasn't that old. Wasn't that long ago, Bubba. So that was a long time ago.
He's in denial.
Absolutely. He don't want to fool with it. And so, anyway, that's the story. And so that's what's happening out of the camp at New England. Mr. Belichick is saying, it's 2015, long time ago, we're moved on to next year. Now, the guy that he was adamant, defiant, he's not going to step down. What was his name, Blatter?
Blatter,
yeah.
Blatter.
Yeah, not going to step down.
Reelected.
And how do you reelect somebody when you had some of your officials arrested? I mean.
It's the state of affairs in this world, and we got a couple stories to go along with that in a minute.
All right. This is coming out of the Kingsport Times News. Got to give proper credit. As defiant as ever, Sepp Blatter resisted calls to resign as the FIFA president and deflected blame for the massive bribery and corruption engulfing soccer's world government body. Says, we or I cannot monitor everyone all the time. 79-year-old Blatter insisted he could restore trust in world soccer after a pair of corruption investigations brought shame and humiliation on his organization and the world's most popular sport. So he says, I'm not stepping down. Now, you're telling me this was yesterday. He's already been reinstated or revoted or reelected again for another round.
Yep. I don't know how long that tenure is, but, yeah, I don't know.
U.S. Justice Department investigation accusing 14 international soccer officials or sports marketing executives of bribery, racketeering, fraud, and money laundering over 2 decades. Over 2 decades, 20 years worth. Now, you trying to tell me he didn't know anything about this? Over 2 decades, 20 years, this has been going on. And this guy didn't know anything about it. Sports marketing, racketeering, fraud, money laundering, extortion, in connection with marketing rights worth hundreds of millions of dollars awarded for tournaments in North and South America. 7 officials, including 2 FIFA vice presidents that answered to Blatter and members of its finance committee, which also answered to Blatter, remained in custody in Zurich, Switzerland. Blatter not implicated in the incident and also in the indictment. Swiss officials are investigating the FIFA votes that sent the World Cup to Russia in 2018 and Qatar in 2022. They're going to let them stand. They're not going to pull them back off the table. But obviously there's some corruption going on. So they're going to say, well, we're going to reelect this guy. We're going to leave the tournaments where they're going. We've arrested 7 of their officials, including 2 of his vice presidents. He says, I didn't do this. I'm not involved in this.
Oh, but like I said, everybody just looks the other way.
How in the world can this go on for 2 decades? This guy's the head of the organization. 2 of his vice presidents get arrested for corruption and still in jail in Zurich, and he didn't do it.
Because soccer is so big outside the realm of the United States. Okay, it's so big, it's so powerful.
Yes,
that they don't care.
Yeah,
they want to keep it's just like if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Well, it's broke, but people don't care. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, it just boggles the mind.
Yeah, that's a negative. Let's talk about a positive. This is a guy named Adam Bernard from Daniel Boone High School. This guy has rewritten the history books in this state. Adam Bernard, 6 state championships in cross country and track and field, All-American honors, and a running scholarship to Georgetown University. So here's how I got into being a runner. I love his story. He was in the 6th grade at Ridgeview Middle School in Washington County. A buddy of his, he and his buddy looking for a way to get their pictures in the yearbook. So they went out for cross country in the fall, track in the spring. That's how they got started with running. How about that?
There
Buddy
you go.
said, we're not in the yearbook enough. What do I do? Well, if we get on the track team, cross-country team, we can get our picture in the yearbook. I guess for the girls, just for whatever. And so Adam Bernard's okay. So he went out for the cross-country in the fall, the track in the springs, and get his picture in the yearbook in the middle school at Ridgeview Middle School. And the rest, as the late Paul Harvey would say, is history. So good stuff. By the 8th grade year, he had broken the Washington County record for the mile. So this guy, didn't take him long to taste success, and the rest, they say, is history. 6 state championships in cross-country and track and field, All-American honors, and a running scholarship to Georgetown University. I mean, what more could you ask for from a young man? And this guy is dynamite. Adam Bernard heading off to Georgetown, and again, rewriting the history books in track and field, not only in this region but in the state. 6, I love that, 6 state championships in cross-country and track and field. Some kids never get a chance to win any. He won 6 and earned every one of them, of course. All-American honors and a running scholarship to Georgetown University. So, again, it all got started because he wanted to have his picture and his buddy in the yearbook at Ridgeview Middle School. That's a pretty cool story. That's good stuff. We'll take a quick break, come right back. Jeff Birchfield joins us, talk a little sports and talk a little NASCAR and a little local sports in Birchfield. As sports writer of the Johnson City Press, he joins us coming up here on a Friday edition of the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments and how they can provide for you and your family, the future becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today. Your life is always changing. You never know. Your life is always changing. You never know what shape it will take, or how your financial needs might change. But if we talk about your investments,
You got me all tore up that time.
There you go.
I'm sorry. You got me tore up.
Yeah. Locked him up over there.
You did.
Yeah, he just froze him in motion. Locked him up. That's good. It's the Tom Taylor Sports Show this Friday. Thank you for being with us.
Oh, mercy. Yeah, I kind of, had a little mistake there, but that's all right. You threw me a curve.
Played the wrong break.
No, I didn't play the wrong break. I played the right break.
I just always refer to that when you mess up.
Oh, okay.
So,
Yeah.
So.
Jeff Birchfield called me.
Played the wrong break.
Right when I was getting ready to push a button.
Birchfield called me. Yeah. Of course, I'm calling a little bit early. I know that, too. He's supposed to call him at 2:30, so we're a little early, but that's okay. We're like 10 minutes early, so he may be doing something. I don't know.
I'm over here pushing buttons on right and left, and which one I was pushing.
That's good for you. Keeps you on your toes. So, all right, your boys start the weekend in the hole, they being the Redlegs. They got the Washington Nationals coming to town to start up tonight.
That's not good.
No. These boys can.
They can get swept.
Oh, they can tattoo that ball, too. Old Harper, did he hit, 2 in one game, 3 in one game? Home runs?
Something like
Bryce
that.
Harper, this guy's the deal. So, anyway, the Nationals in town, starting tonight against the lowly Reds at Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. And they need a big shot in the arm, and I'm not sure this is the team's going to give it to them because, as Horace said, and he's right, these guys can flat play the game, they being the Washington Nationals. So, anyway, we'll see. But he's not going anywhere. He's one of the coaches of the All-Star team. All-Star games in Cincinnati, they're not going to get rid of him, I promise you. He's going to be around for a while. He is at least okay till July 14th, in my opinion. And that means he can probably get fired tonight. But I would think since Cincinnati's the host of the All-Star game, one of the coaches in the All-Star team have been named is Ryan Price, the Reds manager. I just don't see him letting him go, but we'll see. Softball yesterday, Florida beat Tennessee 7-2. We told you that one. That happened during the show. LSU beat Auburn 6-1. Michigan shuts out Alabama 5-0, and UCLA's ladies beat Oregon 7-1 in the College World Series softball in Oklahoma City. So Tennessee, or actually tonight, let's give you that schedule. Florida takes on LSU in the winner's bracket at 7 o'clock. Michigan and UCLA will play tonight at 9:30. And then coming up tomorrow, Tennessee in the elimination game and double elimination will take on the ladies from Auburn at noon tomorrow at Oklahoma City. Alabama, Oregon, those two for sure are set in stone. So Tennessee plays at noon tomorrow against the Lady War Eagles or Lady Tigers, whichever one you like, from Auburn University in Auburn, Alabama. So there you go. What else going on in the world of sports on this Friday? You look at weightlifting. Here's got some kids from East Tennessee State. Brought home gold, silver, and bronze. These are ladies in the 2015
Ladies.
Yep, USA Weightlifting Regional Championships. These 7 students who participated included members of the U.S. Olympic Training Site at East Tennessee State. Megan Poole. Somehow I know Megan Poole. I don't know. That name rings a bell. But anyway, she wins a gold medal in snatch, a silver in the clean and jerk, and a gold in the overall competition. She'll move on to the national championship in Dallas. Abby Barron won a silver medal in snatch, a gold medal in clean and jerk, and a gold for overall in the junior class. Jessica Kinsler, junior class, silver medal for snatch, a silver for clean and jerk. Caleb Sargent, he's a native of Johnson City. He brought home a bronze medal for overall performance in the junior class. And Cameron Griggs claimed a bronze medal in the snatch competition in the 94 kg, that's kilograms, you suppose?
Yeah,
kilograms weight class. So there's some weightlifters coming out of Johnson City, went and represented us well in St. Louis. Megan Poole, Abby Barron, Jessica Kinsler, Caleb Sargent, and Cameron Griggs are the ones that perform well representing us again and East Tennessee State University in St. Louis. Sports out of Southwest Virginia is bringing you up to speed. The Conference 40 tournament last night, the championship, Virginia High, the Bearcats beat Lebanon 6-3. The Conference 48 tournament, the first one got in. The second one of the semifinals was a wash. J.I. Burton beat Rye Cove 13-3. Rains came. Eastside, Thomas Walker rained out. They're playing this afternoon as we speak at Eastside High School in Virginia. And the winner of that one will play J.I. Burton tomorrow night at 7 o'clock for the championship there in baseball. In softball, in the Conference 40 tournament, at Gate City, John Battle and Union got rained out last night, and so they'll play that one this evening at 5 o'clock. That'll be for the Conference 40 championship of softball. That'll be at Gate City. And also the Conference 48 tournament last night, you had Eastside beating Castlewood 6-3 in 5 innings. The J.I. Burton and Clintwood got rained out. So J.I. Burton and Clintwood will play at 6 o'clock tonight in softball, and then that winner will take on Eastside tomorrow night at 6:30 at Eastside High School for the Conference 48 championship. In soccer in Virginia, the Conference 40 Boys Tournament Championship will be coming up tonight at 7:30 at Sugar Hollow Park in Bristol. Virginia High and Gate City play in boys soccer at 7:30 tonight. And the Conference 40 Girls Tournament tonight, also at Sugar Hollow Park, will be John Battle and Gate City at 5:30. So Gate City's guys at 7:30 against Virginia High, Gate City's girls at 5:30 against John Battle. And that'll be happening, as we said, at Sugar Hollow Park in Bristol. So there you go. That's what's happening there. Also want to tell you about the Senior Golf League at Tri-Cities Golf Course. They had their big tournament yesterday. And Vic Blevins, low gross was Vic Blevins, Rick Cage, Wade Whitson, Tim Silver, and Mark Wooten were the top 5 with the low gross. First flight net, Gene Altizer, Artie Knipe, Brian Clark, Robert Hickenbottom, Wayne McGee, and the low putter was Bill Tipton. So I want you to know about that as well. And then closest to the pin, Baker Fraley, Lou Kraft, Gene Altizer, and Brian Clark, and the long drive. How far can you drive a golf ball?
I haven't got a clue. Every time I hit one, it goes right or left real bad.
But does it go far?
No.
No.
Well, it can't go far if it takes an immediate right turn.
Well, I mean, but it can take off on a hook and go long way.
I don't know.
It kind of dribbles down the green.
Generally, when it takes off on a left-hand or right-hand hook or a slice, it ends up in the trees or goes somewhere where you can't decide how far it's going to go.
I got you. It takes off on you for parts unknown. I understand. So
now that's pretty sad since my sister-in-law's a golf pro.
Yeah. Does she ever give you lessons?
Haven't had one yet.
Really?
Well, she's down in Houston, Texas, so it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to get a lessons when she's not.
Well, do the guys ever meet like a Christmas or holidays?
But Christmas and Thanksgiving, we're not out on a golf course.
Well, I mean, you could be. I mean, you could say, "Hey, why don't you give me a lesson?"
Do you actually think I'm going to take time and say, "Come on, sister-in-law, we're going to the golf course"?
Or driving range, because sometimes it's warm at Christmas.
Well, whatever. Now we don't usually have the time to do all that kind of stuff.
Right. So she's a golf pro down in Texas.
Yep.
And now, does Mrs. V play golf?
No.
Okay. She is married into your family she's married to one of your brothers, correct? Does he play golf?
He plays. They play golf religiously.
There you go. All the time.
All the time.
All right. Would they be up for coming up and being part of our putt-putt team maybe?
I doubt it.
Okay.
You'd have to pay their expenses, and you couldn't afford it.
No. Well, I don't know that. We may get why would they have to be if they could just come up and be able to hang out with you, your brother-in-law and sister-in-law, make it a family vacation, come up and play putt-putt while they're here? Probably not.
No.
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 I'm trying to get something going here. Okay. Not working. So anyway, playing golf. And so would you ever want to go to the driving range? If you and I want to go to the driving range and you just drive a few buckets, see how far – I bet you could step into one. I bet you could drive one pretty far.
Oh, I bet if I ever got a hold of one, it'd go, a million miles. But
yeah.
I just don't have the technique.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to go to the driving range? Is my question.
Do I want to go to the driving range
with me? Do I take you to
now?
The driving
range? Are you throwing down a challenge?
I'm asking you. Do you want to go to the driving range, get a couple of buckets of balls, and just smack them and be pals? There's no competition. Just. On one day after the show, just kind of load up and go to the driving range. And
well, do you have a driver?
You?
No, I'm talking about a golf club driver.
Well, no, you can get them at the Duflachi, the driving range. You can borrow one.
I'm not out to borrow clubs. I got my own. But
then I'll borrow yours.
You ain't gonna borrow mine.
There you go. It's all set up. So, do I need a big
cheapskate?
I want a Big Bertha. Well, now you ask. I don't have any clubs, and I've never played. I don't ever play golf. So you have clubs, and you don't play.
We might have to do this because I may have to put this on YouTube.
Yeah. So blow the dust off them clubs and give me what you got. A Big Bertha? Isn't that what they're called?
I don't have a Big Bertha, I don't think, but I got a couple drivers. Yeah.
Yeah. What are their names?
I don't have a name for my golf clubs.
Well, you name everything. Your car's
not
name.
My clubs because I don't use them.
There you go. Now we're getting down to it here. So I would like to go. Maybe we can include Gator and go to the driving range, and us boys get us a bucket of chicken, and I'll sit up under the tree and let you boys drive some golf balls, and I'll gnaw on some chicken, and we'll just have a big time. So what do you think? You in?
No.
I'm going to tell Gator. Or Gator's listening. I bet he gets his feelings hurt because he's why wouldn't you go?
Well, I want to go do stuff and let you sit there and eat the chicken.
Well, I mean, I'd share the chicken with you, but I'm not going.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Now.
I'd share with you. Yeah.
You'd give me a wing, right?
Yeah. Or I'd give you a leg or a thigh or a breast or whatever. You'll get one. That's what I'm going to get. Yeah. Chew slowly. I lay it on a napkin, lay it under the trees. The ants get on it while you're driving the ball.
Well, I'm driving. Yeah, out there looking at me, watching me, making fun of me while you're gnawing on food.
Pretty much. You got it.
I think I'm going to pass.
All right. We'll take a quick break and see if we can track down Jeff Birchfield. He's due to join us again, our sports writer of the Johnson Press.
We're going to try this again?
Yeah, we're going to try it again. Give me more time to do it, would you?
Well, I don't know if I can give you more time.
Well, you're going to have to create more time because he may be out.
Well, hang on a second.
Yeah, add about 27 more commercials.
Well, we'll just replay them if we get
there you go. We'll just roll it. We're going to roll it. Here's our goal. We will make contact with Jeff Birchfield, or somebody's going to answer that phone on the other end that we think will be Jeff Birchfield. Could be his wife, could be somebody. But we're going to get a hold of Jeff Birchfield and talk a little sports, and we'll do that next year on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show on this Friday. Thank you for being with us. Let's go to the phone. He's there, our buddy Jeff Birchfield, sports writer with the John City Press. And good afternoon, sir. How are you?
Doing well, Tom. I hope you're doing well today as well.
Yes, sir. Getting ready to kick off to a big weekend of sports, and just a big weekend here in the Tri-Cities, or just a good weekend, too, no question, this time of year. Let's kind of do a recap of the spring fling. It's wrapped up, and it's signed, sealed, and delivered. But, again, I think it's worth repeating about some of the kids. Went down and had a great representation for us down in Middle Tennessee last week.
Oh, yeah, you mentioned that Sciencefield soccer team. They lost 3-2 in the championship game to Germantown, Houston, but really great season for the Hilltoppers. I know Lucas Altman, midfielder, played for me, was the National Player of the Week 2 weeks there in a row, so just a terrific season for them. And then, of course, the Greenville softball team ends up winning the state. Jordan Portell, their terrific pitcher, you know, she just came through for the Green Devils big time when she needed to.
And so Adam Bernard, let's talk about this young man from Daniel Boone. We talked about him a few minutes ago. This guy's the real deal. Tell us about him.
Well, he's actually running tonight in Oregon, a place called the Prefontaine Classic that's named after a legendary runner, Steve Prefontaine. Also, Adam, though, he won the 1,600-meter race and the 3,200 down there for Daniel Boone. He was the anchor on the 4x800 race, but probably his most impressive race is one he didn't win, is that 3,200. You know, that's a 2-mile run. He just got through running that. And the race right after that, to end the whole meet, is the 4x400 relay. And he's a distance runner, not a sprinter, but he ran the third leg for Daniel Boone and pulled him from like 5th place to 3rd during his leg. So just amazing talent, you know.
Absolutely, and so he's moving off to Georgetown. He's got All-American beside his name, 6 state championships beside Adam Bernard's name. Really cool, and we're very proud of this young man from Daniel Boone High School. We're talking to Jeff Birchfield. Again, now what do you guys do? What's up now with the sports writers? You kind of got a downtime right now. Everything's kind of, I would think, it's downtime. Appalachian League baseball around the corner, but what are you guys working on right now, you and Angie and Fritz?
Well, now, some of those other guys might have a little downtime, but where I cover racing, Muddy Creek Raceway next week is the Tennessee National, Redbud Tennessee National, and then also in like 3 weeks is NHRA Thunder Valley Nationals at Bristol, and in between there, Jason Witten Camp up in Elizabethton, and so, you know, I'm actually pretty busy this time of year. You know I don't usually get a sort of knock it out of gear a little bit till sort of the end of June, but then, like I said, you're in the middle of Appalachian League baseball at that point.
Now, again, we're talking to Jeff Birchfield, the John City Press. When do the football teams get back in camp and get ready to start practicing, get ready for the season? It's not that far away, is it?
No, not that far away. And normally our media days are like toward the end of July. You know, is when most of them start. So and they usually run from the end of July to early August, and then right after that, the week after, normally you'll have your jamborees, and then it's the first week of the season. And the week after that's the NASCAR race at Bristol. So, you know, it's just, from that point on, it's pretty busy. But really, I said in the sports writing business, as far as locally, you're really, really busy those 6 months out of the year from basketball to baseball. But then in the summertime, even though you do have Appy League going on, and Friday night football is a big deal. You know, football is only one day a week with high schools, and of course, you got UT and ETSU bringing theirs back, so we'll be busy with that. But it's not quite as hectic during football season as it is, basketball season and baseball season.
Thought of Jeff Birchfield, the John City Press, again, one of our great friends who does a fantastic job on this show. He and Doug Fritz and Dave Angie, we appreciate all three of those gentlemen very, very much. And you mentioned the Jason Witten camp. I know next week they've got the Cody Sensabaugh camp. It's going to be a Dobbins Minute next Saturday a week, and he's patterned his camp after Jason Witten. So there's really two chances for kids around the area. I know at least of two. They can go to these two camps again at Cody's next Saturday, and I think the week after that will be Jason's camp in Elizabeth. Is that correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And, of course, another big event going on the same weekend is Cody's camp and the AMA Tennessee National. Also, the Roan Grown, it's probably the biggest cycling race of the year, as far as bicyclists. And, I normally cover that, but since it's on the same weekend as Muddy Creek, actually, Angie's going to be covering that for us this year. But that's a great event also. I mean, it's just a nice spectacle. And then that Sunday is really neat. If anyone's never watched it, it's almost like watching a NASCAR race. They have all the different atmosphere. It's like they have the Johnson City Omnium, the last event. They have a criterium in downtown Johnson City, and they race around like different areas. So that's something that goes on that Sunday.
We're talking to Jeff Birchfield. Apparently he's got a dog there in the background. That's okay. We caught him at home. That's a good thing. And so we're talking to Jeff Birchfield from the Johnson City Press. So we go from riding bikes to NASCAR. Big weekend, a triple header in Dover. Tell me about it.
They start today with the Craftsman Truck Series, and now it's Captain World Truck Series, and the Xfinity Series race tomorrow, and the Sprint Cup Series race on Sunday. So triple header, great weekend of racing, and a lot of people say Dover, is the closest track to Bristol on the circuit because they both have sort of that same configuration, although Dover is a mile track and both of them the only two concrete tracks on the entire circuit.
So as we head to Dover again, Jimmy Johnson won the race here last spring. Who's in pretty good shape, and let's start with who's in pretty good shape. Which team or drivers? Of course, they've all the ones that won so far. They're in real good shape, but theoretically speaking, let's go teams. Which teams are in pretty good shape right now?
Well, I think Hendrick Motorsports as a whole is in good shape, although Jeff Gordon or Casey Caden, both of them are still looking for the first win, but they've both been pretty strong this season. Joe Gibbs Racing all of a sudden is a hot team. I mean, you had Denny Hamlin win the All-Star race, and Carl Edwards won last week at Charlotte with the 600, used a little strategy, but still anytime you can get a win, no matter how, you build such momentum in the sport. Of course, Matt Kenseth won recently at Bristol, and now Kyle Busch is starting to get healthy. I think Joe Gibbs Racing is probably the biggest team on the upswing right now.
We're talking to Jeff Birchfield of the John City Press. Who's going to Dover and needs a big win in the Cup Series this weekend? Who needs to have a turnaround race to help their season?
A guy mentioned that I don't know if he really needs it so much to turn his season around, but he's been close a few times. He's won some poles this year, but I know being his last year, Jeff Gordon would probably really like to get a win, knocked out. I think would take a lot of pressure off that 2014 because the farther they go into the season, I'm sure, the pressure is going to build and mount on that team more and more to try to win, his last year on the series and all. So I think that's a team that really could use a win right now.
Three teams got in trouble after the Charlotte race. Again, Jamie McMurray and Jimmy Johnson, and I can't remember, Justin Allgaier, I should say. Their teams got in trouble with NASCAR post-race problems. What does that do to the morale of a team when you have those kind of things happen to your team?
Well, I think some teams are probably better equipped to deal with it than others. Obviously, with Jimmy Johnson's team, Shaq and Alsair's crew chief, they've had quite a few of those issues before, so they've been able to adapt and move on to it. Actually, Jimmy Johnson, his first Daytona 500 he won. If you remember, Chad wasn't even on top of the pit box. He was suspended during that time, and Darian Grubb was actually serving as crew chief during that period.
And so those three guys, Jamie McMurray, who is right now currently 8th in points heading to Dover, he got in trouble, and some of his crew members because of infractions and rules violations with NASCAR, as did, as we said, Justin Allgaier and, as we said, Jimmy Johnson. Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Joey Logano Jr., J.J. Keselowski, the top six. Then comes Kenseth, McMurray, Jeff Gordon, and Casey Kane, the top 10 in points right now. Again, you go into Dover, knowing that Jimmy Johnson won that last race there last spring, I guess he's the man to watch. And what other drivers should we be looking for?
Well, I mean, Harvick's been strong all year, and he always runs really well at Dover. We mentioned Matt Kenseth won at Bristol. He's a guy who runs well at Dover as well. And, I was trying to think from the Ford camp, probably Keselowski. I think that's one of his better tracks. He just sort of has a good feel for that. So I'd say those are some of the guys to watch this weekend.
Chase Elliott, what's the take on him so far? How's he on the learning curve this year? You think he's passing, or grade him out so far as he will take over the 24 ride next year for Gordon?
Well, I mean, it's really early to try to grade him right now, but I think, so far I think he's doing what he needs to do, just logging laps and trying to, finish races. But I think, I think Chase will be fine. I know he's been a little bit of a surprise that he's not won yet on the Xfinity Series. He won the championship there last year, so I've really been shocked that he's not pulled off one of those races yet.
We're talking to Jeff Birchfield again from the Johnson City Press. So if you were sitting there gambling in Vegas and rolling the dice, who would you say is the odds-on favorite to win the race this weekend in Dover?
I would say probably Kenseth. I don't know. It's sort of a gut feeling I have, that he will be really strong this weekend. So we'll see how that one pans out.
There you go. I know you got a big weekend ahead of you. I sure do appreciate your time. We'll talk to you again next week. And, again, thanks for the update, and keep on keeping on, all right?
Yeah, if it's okay, I want to throw a little plug in. People who do like high school sports, I'm not going to give away the secret, but we got something we've never done before. Is going to be in our Sunday paper. So I encourage people who are fans of high school sports to maybe pick up the Sunday paper and see the little unique thing we're going to do here.
This coming Sunday, is that right?
That is this Sunday.
All right, yeah, we'll check it out for sure, and we'll talk to you next week, all right?
All right, thanks a lot.
Yes, sir. Good job, our buddy Jeff Birchfield again with the Johnson City Press. Appreciate him very much. And, again, that's happening, as you heard him say. I want to pick up the paper, a little tease to see what's going to be happening, what they're going to be doing with high school sports coming up again in the fall, which is not that far away. All right, are you ready to go? I don't know if it's a sports story. This is good stuff here. Fort Lauderdale, Florida, police in Florida say a man tried to steal an AK-47 assault rifle from a pawn shop by stuffing the weapon down his pants. There you go. Marion Paul Alvarez, 19, charged with grand theft, entered the pawn shop, took an AK-47 from a display and put it in his pants. Alvarez then allegedly put the AK-47 back where he got it, took another AK-47 and stuffed it in his pants. Pawn shop owner noticed Alvarez walking with a limp. Yeah.
Exoskeleton down his pants.
There you go. So if a man would walking out of the pawn shop with an AK-47, I guess that would cause him to walk with a limp. They stopped him, of course, and he's being held on $25,000 bond for charges of grand theft and the violation of a domestic violence injunction. I don't know what that's got to do with this, but
Which means he can't have a firearm.
Oh, he goes into the pawn shop and stuffs a AK-47 assault rifle down his pants.
What you want to bet he's got a felony on his record, which means he's going to be charged with possession of a firearm by a convicted felon, too.
We are surrounded by idiots every day. Now, how big is an AK-47?
Well, it depends. Depends on the barrel length, and you can,
There's a picture over there, and I don't know anything about guns, at least not enough to. And that's pretty good size AK-47. It looks like it's about. So.
How
do you get it? There's no way you get out of any place with a AK-47.
You're going to walk with a limp, I can tell you that.
So, anyway, that's what's going on. Just thought you. Marlon Paul Alvarez charged with grand theft. A thief stuffing an AK-47 assault rifle down his pants. There's a lot of things I could say. I won't. I'll slide off into the thought for the day from Larry Kaiser. Larry Kaiser, Nationwide Insurance. This is a good thing here, too. I love these verses and these little things he comes up with. People may doubt what you say, but they will believe what you do. People may doubt what you say, but they will believe what you do. So you can run that Jaws and talk a good game. People may doubt what you say, but they will believe what you do. And that's, again, the thought for the day from our buddy Larry Kaiser at Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance. People may doubt what you say, but they will believe what you do. And I think that is a definite truism. And, of course, be sure and call him and talk to him about that roadside assistance programs we told you about yesterday. There's two of those, 282-1389, 2 levels. And so getting ready to do some traveling, and a lot of folks that I've talked to getting ready to head out next week on vacation for the next couple of weeks. In the first weekends of June, it's typically a big vacation month. And so make sure your vehicle's taken care of with roadside assistance that's available from Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance by simply calling 282-1389 and ask for the Big Easy. 282-1389. Call and ask for our buddy Larry Kaiser from Larry Kaiser Nationwide Insurance. Quick break. We'll be right back. We've got baseball lineup. Who's playing who this weekend? We'll tell you all about that. And we'll check in with our buddy Bob's due to be with us from Book Lovers Warehouse. We'll see if we can track him down and talk to him next right here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show.
Life has its twists and turns. It can take many different shapes. But a good retirement plan changes with your life. And as we talk about what you're putting away and how much you'll need to retire, what was uncertain becomes clear. At Wells Fargo Advisors, we believe conversation leads to financial clarity. Let's start a conversation today.
From the driveways where your kids play basketball and ride their bicycles, to the parking lots at your local church or grocery store, Bracken Paving is an important part of many neighborhoods in our area. No matter how large or how small the job, Bracken strives for excellence in every service they provide. It's a foundation for a strong community. Discover the difference at Bracken Paving and Asphalt Maintenance. Give us a call or visit us online at brackenpaving.com.
At FCA, we're touching millions one heart at a time. Since 1954, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes has been putting the heart and soul in sports by challenging athletes and coaches to impact the world for Jesus Christ. As the largest sports ministry in the world, FCA now reaches over 2 million people annually on the professional, college, high school, junior high, and youth levels. Through this shared passion for athletics and faith, lives are changed, one heart at a time. Learn more at fca.org.
Another glitch. Back on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. Thanks for being with us.
Okay. You get over here and do this.
On this Friday afternoon. I only can respond the way you respond when I make a mistake, so I have to throw it back in your lap. Let's go to the phonies there, buddy. Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Good afternoon, sir. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Of course, I'm in the warehouse, and it's nice and cool in here. I know you guys are out there in the hot air.
You got it. Now, your warehouse, how many books, if you had to guess, how many books do you have in your warehouse?
Oh, 250, 300,000.
Wow. Unbelievable. So he's always bringing
we do an online business. By the way, if you're on Amazon or one of the other book sites and you see Book Lovers Warehouse, just call this number and we'll get it to you. And well, if we can afford it, we'll give you a discount. We won't charge you. If you pick them up at the store, we won't charge you any shipping. So it's just a neat thing to have.
Absolutely. I would agree wholeheartedly. Again, Bob's with us from Book Lovers Warehouse. And, again, they're available online. And also, obviously, the physical store is located between Johnson City and Jonesboro, right beside Harbor Freight Tools. And what's been flying out of there so far this week?
I don't know. It seems like we've been selling a lot of children's books. And I tell you what, I had a man who is a librarian for a grade school. He's going to bring me about 60 boxes of children's books. And I'm going to put them in the bag sale. And this is going to be one of the best bargains that people can find. They can find all kinds of neat stuff in the bag sale. And this guy is anyway. You'll find mystery, intrigue, reading books, history books, all kinds of things. And this is just one of the items that we'll be having in the bag sale.
Bag sales next weekend, not this weekend, but next weekend, and we'll talk more about that the first of the week. But save your money if you're getting ready to go buy some books to read for the summer or even into the fall and even Christmas. I know folks take advantage of these book sales for Christmas. We'll tell you all about it the first of the week when Bob joins us on Monday because it's going to be big. It's next weekend. Again, the first full weekend in June at Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Bob, Father's Day, not that far away, but another great thought starter. Tell us what could be over there for Dad for Father's Day in a couple of weeks.
Well, I don't know. You've got fathers, grandfathers, and you've got sons. So there's all kinds of men that never get a special gift, and a used bookstore who has contact with all kinds of things that you wouldn't normally find anywhere else. I'll give you an example. Over the past 10 years, we've been suggesting that people come in and buy an old Life magazine or a Sports Illustrated or something like that from the week where your father was born, or your child was born, or your grandfather was born, and then go put it in a frame and give it to him for Father's Day. And if your father doesn't, I don't know, break a tear, you'll be surprised, because it's just really neat to know that I was born in 1942. Well, there's some great stuff going on in 1942. There's a lot of things going on in the world. And so if you've got a grandfather that's like that, they'd really appreciate something that would say that this is what we think of you, and this is what happened when you come into this world. And I think you'll find that this would be a great place to find a gift that you won't find anywhere else.
We're talking to Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse in Johnson City. Of course, Father's Day is a couple of weeks off. The book sales next weekend. So this weekend, today, tomorrow, Sunday, they're open 7 days a week. Be a good time to go in and check out what's going on at the bookstore. Let's talk about Look magazine, some of the old magazines. That's a great thought starter for Father's Day.
Oh yeah, I've got Look magazines. I've got Time magazines. I've got all kinds of magazines from the 30s, 40s, and 50s. I remember when I was living in Washington D.C., I was looking for something for a gift, and that's where I got the idea from. And the guy said, I went to used bookstore. I said, listen, down in the basement, I've got some magazines from when your father was born. And he brought one up. Of course, it cost me a couple of bucks. This was back in the 60s, and that was a lot of money then. Anyway, I put it in a frame, gave it to my dad, and my dad loved it.
Absolutely. Great thought process. And, again, don't wait to the last minute. If you get over there and see something between now and Father's Day.
You'll find all kinds of stuff.
Absolutely. And don't wait till the last minute. Go ahead and get it while you're over there shopping, even before Father's Day. Bob, you've redone the sports section. You got a lot more sports books. And tell me about that at Book Lovers Warehouse.
Well, it's that time of the year. We've got books on golf. We got books on hunting. We got books on fishing. So we've got books on tennis. I'm 72, but I tell you what, if you want something on different sports, it'll keep you active and keep you in good shape. Come on in and see what we got, and not only that, they're very reasonable. They're inexpensive. They're some very interesting things. And I've got things on gardening, which is a great thing to have this time of year, because with the price of food nowadays, set yourself a nice little garden. You pay $1.80 for a tomato. That's crazy.
You're exactly right. And so they've got all kinds of how-to books there. If you're getting ready to build a gazebo, or build a horseshoe pit, or a barbecue facility out behind your home, whatever the case may be. Lots of how-to books. Of course, the sports section, the photography section. Let's touch before we get out of here on Civil War. I know this is the time of year and vacations and travel. A lot of folks traveling, a lot of folks checking out Civil War. Tell me about that.
We've got, and this is something that I came across about 5 years ago. A young guy, when I say young, he was about 59. He had a heart attack, and he was a Civil War person. And he had, I'd say 10,000 Civil War books. Well, we sold a lot of them, but we still have a good selection. And because we have Civil War stuff in, it seemed like we attracted more. So if you like Civil War, there's some great battles that happened within 100 miles of Johnson City. And there was a lot of wonderful historical events in the Civil War. And if you come in the store, I'm sure we'll find something very interesting for you.
Absolutely. They're open 7 days a week in 6,000 square foot store or building, or actually a store, and over 200,000 titles in there, and they've got them. And, of course, they've also got, musically speaking, they got DVDs, CDs, cassette tapes, even some 8-tracks. They got a little bit of everything in there, even some furniture. Before I let you go, tell me about the furniture. What kind of furniture you currently have?
Oh, I've got a couple of brass beds. I've got some tables and chairs. And when you were talking about Civil War, my son has got some coupons. If you go to our Facebook page, you can download coupons you can use in the store. And if you mention the fact you heard us on this podcast, you get an additional discount, because we do give discounts for homeschoolers, teachers, and students, and people who are faithful, and every time they come by, they want to see what else we got. And by the way, when you come by and you find something, it may not be there next time.
You got it. Get it while you see it. You're exactly right. Bob, you're open 7 days a week, my friend. What's the hours you're open?
We're open at 10 in the morning till 7 o'clock at night. On Sunday, we open at noon and stay till 5.
Well, keep up the good work. Sell, 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 my friend. I'll talk to you Monday about the bag sale, all right?
Okay. I'll see if I can get some information on all kinds of stuff we got in there.
There you go. Good job, my friend. Appreciate him very much. Your buddy Bob from Book Lovers Warehouse. Again, where can you find him? Between Johnson City and Jonesboro. Right there at the Sonic Drive-In. Turn off the 11E off of the road, the 4-lane there at the Sonic. And right there you'll see Harbor Freight Tools. And right beside Harbor Freight Tools is Book Lovers Warehouse, open 7 days a week. Before we get out of here, our buddy Sepp Blatter, the most powerful man in the world's most popular game, 79-year-old Swiss national, his fifth term.
Fifth term,
despite a week marred by arrest, investigation in the United States and Switzerland, and questions about whether he was the right man to rebuild the reputation of soccer's governing body, but they voted him back in. 79 years old.
I don't watch soccer anyways.
His fifth term. Unbelievable. Now, 2009 member associations with FIFA. Each of their votes count the same. So I love this. A vote from China with about 1.4 billion people carries the same weight as a vote from the Cook Islands, which has about 11,000 folks. So he gets
something not right there.
There you go.
Misrepresentation.
Organization's executive committee members get $300,000 a year, plus $500 a day for expenses. The member association benefit big time, including $500,000 payouts linked to World Cup profits. So these guys got bought off, and so Blatter makes at least $300,000 a year. I'd say more. He's not part of the executive committee. He's the prez. So I'm guessing he's making more than that, and $500 a day for their expenses. And that's the executive committee. I don't know how many's on there, but there's a bunch. And I believe they're doing okay for themselves.
Yeah.
I think everything's okay over there in soccer land. So 79 years old. He's had two guys on two of his executive committees are arrested and still in custody in Zurich, Switzerland, as we speak, two of his vice presidents. And so this guy gets reelected for his fifth consecutive term.
But, this kind of mentality, it's not just, in soccer.
No.
I mean, you got, for instance, on our home turf here, Texas Stadium, Josh Hamilton, who has had his issues there at the was it Dodgers or Angels? Angels. He's a drug head. He's a crackhead. He's got a protective order against him. He's just he burned his bridges, and he shouldn't even be in the game. Okay, he gets a standing ovation at Texas when he takes the field.
Well, A-Rod got a standing ovation.
I mean, how can you look at the guy and look at his past and give him a standing ovation?
His wife had to get a restraining order to keep him away from his kids because he was on drugs when he was around them.
I'm just sitting there shaking my head, and there's a guy out there who says Alex Rodriguez, we should look, past what he's done and let him have his records. They're tainted.
There you go.
They are tainted.
It's called integrity, my friend, or lack thereof. It's just that simple.
Well, Darren Sharper's getting his. I can tell you that.
Who?
Darren Sharper. Remember, he used to play for the.
Oh, yes.
Yes, he pled guilty yesterday in New Orleans in federal court to distributing Xanax, Valium, Ambien with the intent to rape women.
There you go.
So he's going away for a long time.
As well, he should.
Yep.
By the way, before we get out of here, just to put an exclamation mark on this topic, U.S. authorities had indicted 9 FIFA officials as well as 5 sports media and marketing executives over alleged kickbacks of more than $150 million, dating back more than 20 years.
Well,
and this guy's got reelected. It was on his watch. He said, I'm above all this. Now, you got 2 of your vice presidents in jail as we speak in Zurich, Switzerland for all this going on. He said, man, I'm above this. I can't monitor everybody all the time. And they voted him back in.
Why?
Unbelievable.
I don't. That's just one more reason for why I don't want to watch soccer. Put soccer on my list. Professional soccer. Put it on my list.
Number 22, right below John Calipari and Bo Ryan, and right beside Mark Cuban. So that's going to do it for this show. We sure do thank you for being with us. We'll try it again. We won't try it again. We will do it again on Monday from 1 to 3. Coming up later this evening, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher phone app. Also, you can watch us and listen to us and do whichever you prefer on YouTube. And which one? Who am I doing? Oh, soccer. The sport of soccer is now his 22nd thing he doesn't like. And so there you go. We are out of time. We sincerely thank you for yours. Back in the saddle on Monday, 1 o'clock. And we hope you have a great weekend with a brand new show. Lots of new folks to talk to. And we're going to expand the pond even more starting Monday. And we'll talk to you then. Have a great weekend. Hit it, Horace. We're gone, my friend. Thanks to Horace sitting in with us. Again, he'll be taking Monday off. We'll be back in here Monday ready to go from 1 to 3. As we always tell you, win or lose, be a good sport. Have a great weekend, and thank you for watching and listening to us here on the Tom Taylor Sports Show. So long, everybody.